And then we're going to go back to these whole strawberries. I'm going to get some lemon juice. Dress it a bit. So I'm going to take my piping bag here, and this cream I just whipped very gently because it was already really thick anyway from being clotted. And I use reusable piping bags because when I take it out I can just wash it and use it again. I have disposable piping bags too, but I think the first job that I had in student halls as a chef, she always showed me how to work with reusable piping bags and would hang them up everywhere, and I've sort of never forgotten it really. I think you have to be careful with the hygiene element, but I think in practice it's probably the good thing to do. So what you want to think is like beforehand, so I'm just going to pipe a bit, not very much because we want it for something else. Yeah, so I'm just going to smear it. And then we might want a bit more to build it up a bit here. Take your strawberries. And then you kind of got your different sizes. And what you could do is you could get like a tweel, or you know really want some texture in here, but we're just at home and trying to be nice to whoever we're living with and giving them something special. And yeah, I'm probably not really going to go much more than that, but make sure we've got some height. Then we can just put the other one on top. So I've got some Maldon salt here, which I'm just going to dress it because some things are really nice seasoned, and I think strawberries are one of them. And yeah, I might put a bit more lemon juice on. Yeah, so that's kind of idea one. And then we can check on this one, so that's perfect. So I'm not really going to leave it much longer because we don't want them to go really mushy, but what I'll do is I'll just whack that on there and I'll show you that's the liquid that we've got. And then I'm going to take this out. And then we're going to go with the plates. So I have 2 white plates, but I thought it might be nicer to get a bit of a dressed up plate if you were not having lunch and you were having dinner. So these ones we've cut into small bits, so you might think of how to present it a bit more differently. 3 different size blobs. And then we're going to go cheesecloth. Cheesecloth is really good. I actually got it because when I was practicing how to make consomme, I bought a load on Amazon, and that was about 6 years ago. Shows how much consomme practicing I've been doing. Yeah, so we can be a bit chefy and we could go to the edge of the plate. So I didn't use a nozzle in this piping bag because, you know, I'm just keeping it super pared back. You know, you can make it go a bit thinner at the end so that visually it looks even, and then in the middle we can pile up a bit more. And then yeah, the same kind of thing really. If you had a tuile or a biscuit or a cracker or whatever, it would help. So what I'm going to do is then we're going to get this macerating liquid and go on top and just dress it. But if you do too much, it's all going to go around your plate, which is probably going to happen anyway. It doesn't really matter too much. Which actually, we can just do that. We're going to go all the way around. Careful, careful. And then yeah, like a watercolour. Get around the edge, clean, clean, wash, wash, wash. And yeah, so then I'm going to get more salt. It's in the way. I'm just going to go very gently across. And I've also got some olive oil from Morrison's. Of it. We'll do the same all the way around. And yeah, if you think that's literally just three ingredients, you don't have to use flaky salt, you can use table salt, doesn't really matter. And then this is just a kind of idea at placing stuff as well, really. Yes. And then where are our strawberries from before? What's nice with the macerated is you can get one of the ones, the other hold ones. Oops. And you can just give it a bit of height, and you're done. So they're my 2 ideas for strawberries and cream that you can do at home really easily with 1 punnet of strawberries and probably a small container of cream, depending on how many people you're living with, who you're living with, how much they want to eat. And yeah, and piping bags. If you didn't have piping bags, you can put your cream into a sandwich bag, smush it all to the end, snip the end off, one of the corners off, and then it just behaves in the same way as a piping bag. If you wanted to add a few additional things, then this is flaky salt, and this is olive oil, but I think the liquid from the macerated strawberries is delicious and is probably enough. But there's a few sort of chefy tweaks that you can do to something quite simple to make your summer come alive.